Alright guys, so it has been a while, about 2 to 3 weeks, and I do have to say I apologize. Reason for that was because I was having downtime with my family. I have family that came from overseas to spend time with, so that's why I haven't uploaded for these past few weeks. But here I am today, my first ever triple review. I don't think I'll be doing one anytime soon after today, but there may be on occasions the regular double reviews, which most of you are familiar with. And so it's going to be from, Katsugeki Touken Ranbu with episodes 3 to 5. Now, I do have something to tell you guys that was actually kind of funny, and I don't know if anybody else had went through it, but I'll tell you that after I finish with the 5th review. So episode 3, now we have, where the second unit, we have where Kane-san, Horikawa, Mutsunokami, Yagen, and Tombokuri are officially the second unit, and they go on a mission that was sent by their Saniwa, and that's to deal with the Dutch steamboat that we saw back in episode 2 and with the explosion that happened. Now, many of you would have believed it was because of the Retrograde Army, but as we come to find out, it's actually because of the Roshi. And also we see where it was actually pretty fast. It all happened in one episode, where Mutsunokami and Kane-san, they went from, two people who couldn't see eye to eye despite their ideologies being practically the same, but it's how they approach the situation that's different, because we know Mutsunokami is more reckless and he's more optimistic, not always looking through things through looking at them realistically, versus Kane-san, knowing that he's in the position of captain, he's more strict on himself, and he doesn't take things in a joking manner compared to Mutsunokami, though I do wish he gets that character development later on, and he kind of lets loose, because I do believe he is someone that can joke around a little bit and stuff. So I'm hoping they get into his character a little bit more, as well as Yagen, because Yagen is no different from Kane-san. Basically, they just take orders and execute them. They don't try to question things or try to see things from a different perspective. They just do it, and that's it. And the reason for the argument between Kane-san and Mutsunokami is basically what happened with the steamboat. While Kane-san is saying, few people got out, few people were injured, but that's expected to happen, and Mutsunokami was upset with that, and he even went further to provoke Kane-san, saying that's the reason why the Shinsengumi failed in order to protect what their goals were, kind of angering Kane-san, because remember, he along with Horikawa were the swords of Hijikata from the Shinsengumi. So it goes to show, like, these two characters, how they managed from people who were at each other's throats to somehow becoming really good friends by the end of the episode. And they had where they able to stop the Roshi, who are masterless samurai, because they were showcasing xenophobia, which is the fear of foreigners. They feared that with these people that's from overseas coming into their country and trying to change their country, and they didn't want that. They wanted to protect their country, and the way they're executing that was wrong, but all they wanted to do was protect it. They care about their country, they love it so much, and if it means killing a foreigner, then so be it. It's wrong, but you understand where they're coming from. They love their country and such. But of course, they're stopped by officials, and as history would have it, some of them were killed, some of them were in prison, and so that they don't start a war with overseas country and with Japan. So present day and history is saved. Now, getting to episode 4 and 5, they connect with each other, because after episode 4 it continues into episode 5. So we have where basically, like, two sides within the country, there's some type of problem going on, and so in order to solve that problem, we have where Katsu Kaishu and Saigo Takamori are going to have a 2-day meeting, and to ensure that nothing bad happens, the Touken have to protect the meeting, make sure the Time Retrograde Army does not try to indirectly interfere with it, and so that it goes smoothly. Because if not, if these two sides, the Shogunate side as well as the Tozai side, does not get along, or they're not able to do this meeting properly, then Edo, the city of Edo, can be in a lot of danger, and a lot of people could lose their lives, and war will break out. So, as we always knew, the Time Retrograde Army, they don't directly deal with the people in history. They practically use them in an indirect way, where they practically try to change history themselves. The people within the history change it due to the influence of the Retrograde Army. But as we go further into the episode, it goes completely left. So what happens is, while they do stop some of the Time Retrograde Army, we come to find out one of the strongest of them, the Otachi, appears. This big, huge looking demon with a really long sword, and the biggest guy, Tombokri, and you're thinking he's going to be able to handle him, but he proves to be, the Otachi proves to be more than they can handle. And then we have Ryagin. I'm really glad that he got character improvement, because instead of acting like a robot, he tells within this episode that since he's been given a body, he has his own free will, and his free will is to follow his master, and he's able to protect things that he couldn't have done when he was a sword. So we saw that character improvement within him in this episode, and I was really glad for that. So he managed to get on board on top of the ship, where we had the Shogunate faction about to bomb the meeting and then cause a lot of ruckus, while the others were fighting the Otachi. So when they heard the news that Yagin was on the ship, we have where Mutsunokami and Kane-san go there to go and try to help him out, and then we're left with Tombokri and Horikawa that's trying to face off against this Otachi. Now it gets into episode 5, and this, I did not expect this to happen at all. I don't think any of us expected to go down like this. Or by episode 4, which I was really excited about, I really wanted to see him, one of my favorite characters, Surimaru Kunigawa has finally made his appearance, and he's all white, and he just comes in like a surprise and just starts slaying. And I was like, oh my god, because things look bad for Yagin until he made his appearance. So he helps Yagin while he's on the ship, and everything is happening. We see him back and forth with the Otachi and then on the ship. And while things have finally settled down on the ship, eventually Mutsunokami and Kane-san finally managed to reach on the ship. We find the reason why Surumaru was brought to where they are currently at. So there are 2 reasons, as there's 2 methods actually, towards the Time Retrograde Army, and what's their mission at that time period that they're in. It was either to indirectly cause disturbance and make the meeting go haywire, and then they find out the second method that they did, which was to directly hurt the people in that time and cause a fire in Edo. Now, if you know the history, I know very little about it. I think during that time period, Edo did burn down. The city of Edo did burn down, and about 10,000 people died that day because the fire was so great, and they had no escape and everything. So in actual history, the city of Edo did actually burn down, not by because of the Time Retrograde Army or anything, but it actually did burn down. It's either 10,000 or 100,000. You can correct me on either of those numbers. So that was their whole plan. So if they couldn't do it indirectly, they were going to do it directly by having their own ship and bombing the city of Edo. And then we have where Tombokri, which broke my heart because I started to really enjoy this character the more we started to see him. And then he's really going against the Otachi, and the Otachi is like a big challenge for them. Like, this guy cannot go down that easily. And then we see where Tomoki is getting bloody up. Like, I was so terrified seeing that. And eventually he did beat the Otachi, but at what cost? And then we saw his spear have a fracture in it. And then that's not the only bad thing. We see with the others being on the ship, they're trying to get back to land as quickly as possible. And then we have where Kane-san gets stabbed. And everything is just like, then you had the sad song playing at the end. The ending song didn't even play. It just had this melody that was playing that was extremely sad. And then we had where after credits, we finally saw the person that I have been waiting for the longest, Mikazuki Mune Chika. He was shown in the opening, the same guy that I said that with the crescent moon, the sun, the moonlight shining on him. He showed in this episode, and I said I was thinking he's going to show either between episode 5 or 6. I was saying this to myself, and my predictions came true. He actually showed up, and he's part of the first unit. So while the second unit is back at the cathedral, we're going to see where the first unit is going to be sent back during the year of 1565, because history was kind of disoriented. So we're going to see Mikazuki with the rest of the first unit members and see them in action, and I was really happy about that ending. But for the rest of episode 5, man, I cried. I did, because that was just really sad, and I pray that Tomoki is okay after this. I really do. And to go back what I said way earlier in the review, I decided to play the game afterwards. As many of you know, if not, I play Touken Ranbu, and right now currently I'm a level 10, so I decided to do battle. And we know if you do battle and if your sword does get injured, you have to do recovery and repair them. And after watching episode 5, and I decided to send my second unit to battle, one of my swords got injured. Now right now currently I'm forgetting his name, but he got injured and I had to do repair for him. So we already saw 2 swords get injured in episode 5, and now I come back playing the game and one of my own got injured. So I found that to be pretty peculiar. Like it was bad. This episode was bad. It broke my heart, and then to play the game and it broke my heart even more. So that pretty much sucks for me. But if you guys saw these 3 episodes as well as the current one that came out, do drop a comment down below on how you felt about them. What are your thoughts on Tomoki's state and Kane-san's state, as well as are you guys excited about seeing the first unit as well as Mikazuki finally making his appearance and seeing what they have to show to us, as well as what's going to happen to the second unit since they failed their first mission. They failed it. So I'm Kimi-chan of Anime Legends Podcast, and I will see you guys later. And also check out the links in the description box under the video. Bye!